What's up, everybody? It's your boy Melvin here in our classic review. Today I'll be talking about my thoughts on a film which okay, I'll give you a hint. I was watching a video from Yesterworld Entertainment, the history of Burger King, including their characters. One of them, the Duke of Doubt, was a spin image of a certain character that scared the shit out of kids in the 60s. The child catcher from MGM's 1964 film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And that's when I forgot to talk about this film. So yeah, if you want to check out Yesterworld Entertainment, go right ahead. Enjoy. You'll get a good education right there, I'll tell you that, folks. Now back to my program. So yeah, before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, are you ready for an adventure? Are you ready for a history lesson? If so, are you ready? Let's go. So yeah, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was a 1968 musical fantasy film directed by Ken Hughes, produced by Albert R. Broccoli, and also co-written. Hughes also did he was written by Ken Hughes and also co-written by Roald Dahl. If you don't remember that name, this is the guy who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, The Witches. I try to remember the other ones, but shit. There were more. When I say more, there were more. Oh yeah, and James and the Giant Peach. I forgot that one too. And also, it was based on a children's novel of the same name that was published in 1964 by Ian Flemings. If you don't remember that name, fuck. I'll give you a hint. If he never existed, James Bond would never exist as well. That's right, folks. The man who wrote James Bond wrote this book. Hey, I don't know when the James Bond books began, but I don't know what began him, the 007 or this car. You tell me. It also stars Dick Van Dyke, Sally Ann Howes, Lionel Jeffries, Gert Frobe, Anna Quill, Benny Hill, James Robertson, Justice, Robert Hellman, Heather Ripley, and Adrian Hall. Ern Crostal supervised and conducted the music for the film based on the songs written by the Sherman brothers, Richard and Robert. If you remember those guys, they're the ones who wrote the fantastic songs from Mary Poppins, Bananas and Broomsticks, and also this film as well. And the musical numbers were staged by Mark Bruce and Dee Dee Wood. At the 41st Academy Awards, the film's title song was nominated for Best Song Original for the Picture. And there was a lot here. When I say a lot. As you know, as for casting, you got an all-star cast. You got the legendary Dick Van Dyke as Karate Guest Potts, who is a widower father, who was also an inventor. You also have the late Sally Ann Howes as Truly Scrumptious, the daughter of a candy baron, and the love interest of Karate Guest Potts. You have Lionel Jeffries playing Grandpa Potts. You got Gert Frobe as the villain Baron Bombers, and Quale as Baroness Bombers. And there was something mysterious about her because I was watching a documentary about this film, and when Dick Van Dyke and others talk about Anna Quill, she really stayed around because they only see her when she's doing her scenes. And she really talks with anybody. She's quite more like one of those opera types. And of course, you have the legendary comedian Benny Hill as the toy maker. Which, to those who are too young, Benny Hill is a famous comedian who had a show called The Benny Hill Show back in the 60s, which a bit of risque, if you know what I mean. I'd say my first one was called The Best of Benny Hill. Oh boy, I couldn't stop laughing. There was one gag, I think it was with a wife who was feeling down in the dumps until she ate something called Vendamite, which made her super horny, and the husband was like, it's all thanks to Venomite. Like, he's just like up in caffeine because she couldn't let him rest, getting jacked up. Oh my god, that made me laugh until I realized what it actually does. Like, holy shit! But yeah, I don't think it'll be released during this time period with, the feminists and all. They'll literally tear him apart. Jesus fuck. I still feel bad for, and he's gay, so he's actually a great comedian. To those who remember him, damn. Even Dick Van Dyke's a fan of Benny Hill, so it's kind of cool they brought him in there as a toy maker. We also have James Robertson Justice as Lord Scrumptious, who is the father of Truly Scrumptious and the owner of the candy factory. Heather Ripley as Jemima Potts, one of the daughter of Crackus Potts, and we have the son Adrian Potts as Jeremy Potts. And some other characters. We have Barbara Windsor as the blonde at the carnival. There was a scene where Crackus tried to raise money at the carnival, and there was a blonde and a random guy. It was like a haircut machine, which, of course, kind of accidentally gave him the friar haircut, which made a bald spot on his top of his head. Hold it. Sorry. Damn allergies. Back to what I was saying, we have Davy K as Admiral. One of the Baron's lackeys. We have Alexander Dory as the first spy and Bernard Spear as the second spy. To me, they look like the British versions of Natasha and Boris from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Literally. We also have Stanley Uri as the Chancellor of Bulgaria. We have Peter Arns as Captain of the Guard. We have Desmond Giller as Coggins, the owner of the scrapyard. We have Victor Madden as the junk man who owns the scrap chitty. We have Arthur Miller as Big Man. Cyril at the carnival, the guy who gets the ball treatment. George Leach as Chitty's original driver. George Leach. If I recall correctly, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember who owned the original car. Let me see. If I recall correctly, George Leach was the original owner of Chitty before he actually, sold it for auction due to his health problems. And he drove the car around in the UK. He took care of Chitty for a long time. Literally, showed to events, parties. The main car used in the film carried the valid UK registration as the Gen 11. There were two, actually. Well, functional ones. There was the one using the racing, which was the racing one. And fun fact, they were made by the Ford Motor Company because they were using a famous four-banger engine. That's what they call it. Yeah, it was made by the Ford Motor Company. Most of the cars you see are from the Ford Motor Company. Which is actually pretty cool. And quite helpful as well. Ugh. Sorry folks, my allergies made kaput. Sorry. I hate allergies. But continuing. And here's something you didn't know. Van Dyke was cast in the film after he was turned down for the role of Fagin in the 1968 musical Oliver. The role Truly Scrumptious was originally offered to Julie Andrews to reunite her with Van Dyke after their success with Mary Poppins in 1964. But Andrews rejected the part because she felt it was too similar to Poppins. Sally Ann Howes, who replaced Andrews as Elizabeth Doolittle in My Fair Lady on Broadway in 1958, was then offered the role and she accepted it. Damn. What comes around goes around. After Eames had a heart attack in 1961, he decided to write a children's novel based on the stories about a flying car that he used to tell his infant son. He wrote the book in longhand as his wife had confiscated his typewriter in an attempt to force him to rest. Hey, the wife knows best, huh? The novel was initially published in 3 volumes, the first in October of 1964, which was 2 months after Fleming's death. It became one of the best-selling children's books of the year. Albert R. Broccoli, producer of the James Bond films, which was based on novels by Fleming, read the novel and was not initially enthusiastic about turning it into a film, but the success of Mary Poppins changed his mind. In December 1965, it was reported that Earl Hamner had completed a script based on the novel. The following July, it was announced the film will be produced by Broccoli without Harry Saltzman, who was his producing partner on the James Bond films. By April of 1968, Ken Hughes was set to direct the film from a screenplay by Roald Dahl, and Hughes claimed his subscription with Roald Dahl's script. Well, you know what's going to happen. Dahl hates it when people rewrite the script. You see it with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? Exactly. I mean, look how that turned out. Back to the same. Broccoli announced casting of Dick Van Dyke on December of 1966. The film was the first multi-picture deal Van Dyke signed with United Artists. Sally Ann Howes was cast as the female lead in April 1967. Soon thereafter, signing a 5-picture contract with Broccoli and Robert Helpman joined in the cast in May. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was the first film for both of its child stars, Heather Ripley and Adrian Hall, who were cast after an extensive talent search. Shit. The song and the film were written by the Sherman Brothers, who had composed the music for Mary Poppins. John Sturr supervised the film's special effects and Caractacus Potts' inventions were created by Roland Emmett. An article about Emmett that appeared in Time magazine in 1976 mentioned his works on the film, saying that no term other than fantasticator could remotely convey the diverse genius of perky, pink, cheeky English whose pixelation in cartoon, watercolor, and clanking 3D reality ranged from the celebrated far-tottering and Oyster Creek Railway to demented thingamabobs that made the 1968 movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang a musical classic. And fun fact, those things when they're singing the song again of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the song with Truly in there, they passed by a Great Western locomotive. I can't remember what class this is. This is a tank engine, but it's one of those bigger. I'll give you a hint. It's based on a character written by the Reverend. Audrey, the guy who wrote the Railway series, Duck. That class. He's a saddle tank? No, saddle tanks are the twins. I forget what class. He's a Great Western, I can tell. But this one's paying blue. This is private owned. But still, it's actually pretty cool to see one of those engines in that film. This is from the 60s, so I hope that engine's still around because this is when the civilization is about to go waha. But continuing, Kid Adams designed the film's titular car, and 6 Chitty Chitty Bang Bangs were created for the film. Though only one was fully functional. At a 19th century auction in Florida, one Chitty sold for 37 grand, equal to 225 grand today. The original hero car, in a condition described as fully functional and road going, was put up to auction on May 15th of 2011 by a California-based auction house, expected to fetch $1 million to $2 million, but it was purchased for 855 grand by film director Peter Jackson. That's right, folks. The guy behind Lord of the Rings and the Percy Jackson films, he owns Chitty. And I didn't know this. I watched Hollywood Treasures when this appeared. Of Chitty, I was like, who was the unknown buyer? It was Peter Jackson. That was actually pretty cool. As for filming locations began on 1967 at Pinewood Studios. And there were many locations like the Duck Pond Truly Drive-In was at Russell's Water, Oxfordshire, England. The Potts Windmill and Cottage was from the Copstone Windmill, also known as Turville Windmill, in Ipestone near Turville, Buckinghamshire, England. The Scrumptious Sweet Co factory, mostly the outside, was at Kempton Park Waterworks on Snaky Lane in Handsworth, Great London, England. This location now includes the Kempton Park Steam Engines, a museum open to the public. Oh, okay. The Scrumptious Mansion is actually Hefferden Hall at Pinewood Studios in Iverheath, Buckinghamshire, England. Where Chitty passes train was the Longmoor Military Railway in Hampshire, England. This line was closed in 1968, the same year the film was released. Fuck. They should have saved that line. I mean, literally. This film became a success, they should have saved that line for private use. Pity, ain't it? But continuing. The beach, Cap Tailat in Saint Tropez, France. River Bridge, where the spies tend to blow it up, was at Ivor Bridge in Ivor, Buckinghamshire, England. The bridge is grade 2 listed. What's that mean? What's that mean, grade 2? Oh, it's a grading system. Okay. Railway Bridge, where the spies kidnapped Lord Scrumptious. It was the Imer Bridge in Limer, Buckinghamshire. This bridge carries the Chiltern main line between Birmingham and Marylebone. The White Cliffs of Dover, where Chitty drives off. The beachy head of East Sussex in England. We have the White Rock Spires in the ocean and Lighthouse, where Chitty first fly. The Needle Stacks and Lighthouse at Isle of Wight, England. Baron Bomber's Castle. Exterior, but actually the Neuschwanstein Castle in Bavaria, Germany. In the Bulgarian village, Raffenberg ob der Tauber, Bavaria, Germany. Wait. Never mind. Never mind. I think I made it stupid on that one. It wasn't a Great Western engine. I think I was right. There's a photo of the engine that appeared in the film. It is a saddle tank engine. How stupid am I? I thought it was a Great Western in my... I think it happened a Mandela effect. Never mind. I was right. It is a saddle tank engine. A big one, too. Yeah, it's a saddle tank engine. But I don't know what class. I can't read. It says LMS. That's London. I think that's London Mid Scotland. I think. Anywho, continuing. As for I think my favorite scene in the film has to be the opening scene where you hear the cars starting to run. Like, oh, you know which one I'm talking about. And I hope YouTube doesn't not copyright this, because we hate it. Let's see. The one thing I hate is YouTube going copyright this, because first of all, I'm going to use it as an example, but why not? I'm going to play this because, hey, I'm going to play the intro because it'd be pretty cool. And don't worry, people, if YouTube starts to be never mind. The internet's just being a bitch. I'm not joking. Well, sorry, folks. No internet. Fuck. I hate when the internet starts to bug you, don't you? But you know what I'm talking about. It's the famous scene where you have the opening scene after the MGM logo. You hear this car start their motors and everything. Oh, wait. Okay, the internet's back. Wait. Nope, never mind. I have to keep subscribing for you guys. Shit. Once you have the open climax, you see everybody cheering, you see these classic cars running. And this is actually, we get the opening credit with this. This has to be the most iconic opening scene ever. The music. Where you have, I think it's like a timeline where we learn about Chitty being a racing car. Racing the Grand Prix. I think the first one was in the... What the fuck? In the UK? Yeah. Let me find the opening now.
Bienvenido al liceo.
I hate ads. Ugh. Sorry about that. That's just a stupid ad. I reckon that's a Birkin ad from Puerto Rico here. It's quite annoying. How annoying? You want annoying? Here's one. That annoying. Okay, folks, here's the opening. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Sorry about that. This is, well, folks, this is the one you all been begging for, because this is the famous opening scene from the film. I didn't say I agree. What I told you. Since when you hear a movie with that intro? Huh? What says when you see an intro of that? You get to the logo of the studio. Then you're that artist, and when you hear that car running, and you see that open intro, a classic racing car from the 1900s. When do you see that? Huh? Tell me. When do you see that in the movie now? Never. And fun fact, Dick Van Dyke was in that scene, but it was actually a funny story because in a documentary, when he's talking about this specific scene, he was mistaken for an extra. He was given a flag and started waving it during when the cars passed by from the racing scenes. So technically, if you look close, I don't know which area, because the first scene sets in the UK in 1908 or 1911. Let me check. I don't know when this scene starts. Okay, so the first scene in the race, it was in the Grand Prix de France 1908. So then you got another one, which is the Grand Prix of, I think it's in Germany or Prussia in 1909. And the final was in the UK in 1910. Which was Chitty's down fatal accident, which was when he about almost hit a little child and crashes and explodes. Dude, you gotta love this set here. You know how much, dude? Fuck digital. They made it look like it was actually a race. Just want to grab an old car and start racing here. Agree or disagree? This scene has to be the best one of all. The best opening scene ever. I have to repeat because, come on. How many of you want to be in this race? Come on. I know one of you get giddy about driving these old racing cars. Don't you lie. You know you want to race in there. But yeah. Now we up to the one that scares the shit out of kids. A certain man called Robert Helpman, who betrayed the knight, who was actually he's an Australian ballet dancer. He played the notorious child catcher. You know, like, I could do his voice. Come here, children. Come and get your lollipops. Lollipops. They're free today. Dude. And here's the scary part. During the scene where he, when he's his carriage is, the child catcher carriage, the damn thing tips over, and they thought it would be the end of him, but no. Him being a ballet dancer, he managed to climb on top, tiptoe, jump off the carriage where it crashes in pieces, and lands on his tiptoe gracefully as like a ballet dancer. Spins around like a ballet dancer and unharmed. That's how gracefully he managed to save himself. Damn. But still, I don't know how many kids start. You've had the Wicked Witch of the West scares the shit out of kids. Here's the child catcher. You better behave, kids, or he's gonna catch your asses. I think it was him and the Baron that scared the fuck out of me. Played by Gert Frobe. And he had more fun playing the Baron. And he was a German actor. He was best known for, English-speaking countries. His work on Audrey Goldfinger in the James Bond film Goldfinger. As Peachum in the Three Penny Opera, and as Baron Bombers here as Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So technically, he was in James Bond film as well as Audrey Goldfinger in James Bond's film Goldfinger. I think this is the one with Sean Connery as James Bond, which is actually pretty cool. So he's new to the director before. Correction, producer. Sorry. There were some scenes that I liked. The music was good. The song I like is the song. Sorry about the Meal Bamboo, which was the song where Karate Kid has to dance after the incident when he's trying to earn money. His machine gone 180 by it's a haircut machine where instead of electricity, he actually is pedaled by his bike, and fortunately he got distracted and gave the client a Friar Tuck look, like, you know, a bald spot, like a massive bald spot, looked like something goop. Well, technically not like a bald spot. Gave it a bald spot with a hair still sticking, like an alfalfa. If alfalfa had that hair standing, but surrounded is a bald spot. That style. And there are songs like Grandma Pot's song Posh, which was the one where Baron Bombers and his cronies, let's just say, lift his outhouse and take him back to Bulgaria. We have The Road to Success, which is another catchy one. The song Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, sung by Crackers Potts, Truly, Jeremy, and Jemima. To Sweet, which was the one at the candy factory. Hush by Mel, which has to be a memorable one to anybody who remembers. There's two versions. You got the one with Cracker singing to his children, and another one, him doing a duet with him and Truly, when he found the children under the palace. And of course, the Doll in the Box, which is a duo between Truly and Kranicus, while they pretend to be toys during the Baron's birthday. And the final one, which is the final one of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the final one, where Truly and Kranicus sings, well, including a cast joins in for the last verse, which is actually pretty cool with a bird's eye view of the British countryside. Damn allergies. Sorry. As for the release, United Artists promoted this film with an extensive advertising campaign, hoping to reproduce the success of Sound of Music that was released in 1965, and it was initially released on a roadshow basis. On the original release, film critic Roger Ebert wrote, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang contains about the best 2-hour children's movie you could hope for, with marvelous magical auto and lots of adventure and nutty old grandpa and a mean baron and so funny dances, a couple of scary moments. The child catcher? No shit. Time began to review by stating the film is a picture for all ages, the ages between 5 and 12, and the ending by noting that a time when violence and sex are dual sellers at the box office, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang looked better than it simply because it's not all bad. The reviewers also said the film's 11 songs have all rich melodic variety and automotive horn, persistent syncopation, and some breathless choreography partly redeem it, but mostly of film's sporadic success is due to director Ken Hughes' fantasy scenes, which makes up imagination what they lack in technical facility. Renata Elder of the New York Times wrote that in spite of dreadful title, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is a fast, dance-friendly children's musical with something of the joys of singing together on a teen bus on the way to a game. She called the screenplay remarkably good and said the film's preoccupation with sweets and machinery seems ideal for children, and ended her review on the same note as Time, saying, there's nothing coy or stodgy or too frightening about the film. And this year, when it seems highly doubtful that children ought to go to the movies at all, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang sees it to none of the audience's terrific eagerness to have a good time is betrayed or lost. As for the box office, although the film was 10th most popular at the US box office in 1969, because of its high budget, it lost United Artists an estimated $8 million during its initial run in cinemas. The same year, 5 films produced by Harry Saltzman, Battle Britain among them, lost UA $19 million. All of this contributed to United Artists' decision to scale back operations in the UK. As for that, it received nominations for Academy Award for Best Song, original as the song Chitty Chitty Bang Bang by the Sherman Brothers. Nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Original Score and Best Original Song, and a Laurel Award for Top Musical, which was all nominated but none won. In later responses, Filming stated, "It's a gorgeous looking movie with divine sets, a fabulous cast, cheerful songs. It's also, like so many late 60s musics, far too long. Would have been better at a tight 90 minutes. Film historian Leonard Maltin disagree, giving the movie just 1.5 out of 4 stars, and he described as one big Edsel with totally forgettable score and some of the shoddiest special effects." Well, Maltin, now you're older. Do you regret what you say? On review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 69 based on 29 reviews and an average score of 5.9 out of 10. Oh boy. But, oh yeah, I forgot to mention Benny Hill. As Benny Hill's role, he played the toy maker, and oh boy, Benny Hill put off quite well as the toy maker. And since when do you see Benny Hill with a mustache? I know you see him with a mustache in his skits in the Benny Hill show, but it's actually pretty good, actually. The way he talks like, well, I have to make this carving for the Baron's birthday. If I don't finish it, I'll be a dead toy maker. Which, damn, he does it quite well with that accent there. As for the songs, they were quite good. Home media, Chitty Bang Bang was released in numerous VHS as well as Betamax, CD, and Laserdisc. It was released on DVD for the first time on November of 1998. And a 2-disc special edition package was released in 2003 and November of 2010. MGM Home Entertainment, though 20th Century Entertainment released a 2-disc Blu-ray and DVD combination featuring the extras from the 2003 release and all new features. The 1993 Laserdisc was released by MGM UA. Home Video was first home video release of the film with a proper 2:21 Super Pena version, 70 aspect ratio. There's been a novelization written by written by John Burke, a comic book adaptation by Gold Key Comics in 1969, scale models of the car by Mattel, and also Post Honeycomb Series, the little free plastic car. A PC game, which I think I remember this. I think I saw after this called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's Adventures in Tinkertown on the PC. It's like a puzzle game. Sorry. Shit. Sorry, folks. Sorry. As I was saying, there was also a musical theatrical adaptation as well. That was actually musical lyrics by the Sherman Brothers and booked by Jeremy Sands, premiered on 16th of April 2002 at the London Palladium in West End. The action features 6 songs, new 6 songs by the Sherman Brothers that were not in the film, a Broadway production, played open on April 28th of 2005 at Hilton Theatre. After closing in London, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang toured around the UK, and the UK tour opened in Singapore on 2nd of November 2007. The Australian national production of the play opened in 17th of November 2012, and German premiere took place on April 30th of 2014. Well, folks, what do you think of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Did you have great memories of this? Me? Actually, I liked it because To me, it's the music. It was actually pretty good. Especially the opening scene, the overture. And don't you lie, I actually uploaded the overture when I first opened it, when I first started his channel. And you guys couldn't stop talking about it on the comments, so don't you lie. You know you'll love it. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the movie. Do you still love it? Do you own the movie? I first saw it in the VHS, then I actually own the Blu-ray now. But yeah, do you have, I don't know, memories? Do you like recommend this to you? Like, you have your own kids? Do you show your kids what actual entertainment it was like? But yeah, leave it down in the comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, like this video, hit the bell so you won't miss our great content. And remember our goal to hit 1 million subscribers because, hey, you want us to continue the magic? Just do so, okay? And until then, have a great night, everybody, and peace out. If you excuse me, my nose is driving me crazy. I'm about to blow again. So, see ya.